is Jen Reynolds. I am the creator and founder of Fibrotv.com, and today we are going to do a vlog on my series. Actually, I'm doing a series over at Fibrotv.com called Healing is a Process, Not an Event. And if you go to www.fibrotv.com, you can see the first two posts in the series, and they kind of correlate with what I'm talking about today. So I really highly recommend that you check them out. Either before or after you watch this. It really doesn't matter because it's good information if you've seen those or not. But there's one blog post that's about belief systems, and it really kind of correlates with what I'm talking about now. So I do highly recommend checking that out. And today I'm going to be talking about one of the most powerful things that I ever did for my health, and the one that gave me the most control over my health. And I took some little notes because, as some of you know, we get this thing called fibro fog, and I still have that. Even though I haven't had fibromyalgia symptoms or lupus symptoms in a year and a half, I totally have the fog, or I call it brain farts now. And I don't know if it's from all the medications I was on for so many years, or I was on cannabis for 2 years. That kind of causes some not mental issues, that's the wrong thing to say. It doesn't cause mental issues, it actually relaxes you a lot. But it does cause a little bit of cognitive issues. So, and I've only been off of cannabis for about 3 weeks, and I feel like my memory's getting a little bit better. So for now, I got a cheat sheet. So let's talk about the most powerful thing that you can do for yourself during your healing journey. This is one of them. And this is for me anyways. This is for me, and everybody is very unique, but I'm hoping that if I share my experiences, it might help some of you. I let go of being a victim to my poor health and started being a creator of my good health. This was so important for me. I finally, after being bedridden for a couple of years and being sick for nearly, I've been sick, I was, 20 years, I think. I mean, how old? I'm 40, I'm almost 42, and I got sick a little after the age of 18. So, after a while, you incorporate a belief system, and that's because of what you're told and how we treat medical conditions in this part of the world. And when I say this part of the world, they just treat medical conditions a little bit differently in the East than they do in the West. And it's because they incorporate the entire body, not just the physical part. They don't just treat the physical, they treat the mind, body, and spirit. And this is very, very imperative when you're trying to heal yourself. And I really had to shift my focus from I'm going to be sick for the rest of my life to I'm going to be as healthy as possible. And that's where I started. If I'm going to be sick, I'm going to be as healthy as possible. I'm going to help my body out as much as I can and be the healthiest I can possibly be. Because, I'm young. Even at 32, I'm a young person. I didn't want to be sick for the rest of my life. And being diagnosed with fibromyalgia and lupus, that to me, that's when you're young, that's a death sentence. It was like a death sentence to me. I'm like, oh great, I'm going to be sick and crippled for the rest of my life. Nobody's going to want to hang out with me. And that kind of does happen because, when you get super sick, you lose communication with a lot of people that you used to hang out with because you change. It changes you. Pain changes you. Chronic illness changes you. So I went on this mission to be as healthy as possible. And when I did this, I was really, really, really sick. I'm not saying I was like, okay, I had a flare once or twice a week and I had a few bad days. I was super sick when I decided this. Basically, I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was basically bedridden. I would maybe go out once or twice a week, and I would pay for days after doing that. And I would just lay in bed after that. I'd get up to get a drink or to go to the bathroom or to eat and take a shower. And I didn't even shower every day. Like, showering every day was too much. It exhausted me. So I finally got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I started to get on the internet, and I I was hanging out in a lot of groups, which there's nothing wrong with these groups where they vent a lot and they talk about how sick they are, and they're totally necessary. They are necessary because, you know, people don't understand what you're going through unless they're going through it themselves. So I've even gone into those groups in the last, I don't think I've done it in like a year, but I've gone in there and complained, and it feels good to do that with people that you know. But I started focusing my attention on being more present. Let's say that, because I'm still in every single group here. I love all of you guys. I'm not trying to rag on any group. I love all of you. Y'all do an amazing job. But I tried to focus my attention on like groups about healing and people that were, you know, that have been through the healing process, and more of the alternative medicine, because I've noticed that people that use alternative medicine do a lot better than they do with conventional therapies that they use in America and, you know, basically in the West. So I started really focusing on hanging out with people and talking to people that were into health and fitness, and even though I couldn't even walk to the mailbox, I wanted to heal my body. I wanted to feel better. So I started focusing and shifting my consciousness to feeling better and incorporating people, connecting people that have healed themselves, that are there to help you heal your body, that know about health and nutrition. So that was the one thing that really started to shift me. And it's so funny because for one, I know for me, I hated people that talked about eating good and exercising because I was freaking bedridden. I didn't want to hear it. I did not want to hear it. I'm like, dude, I have a problem going to the bathroom. There's no way I'm exercising. And I'm lucky if I can make a cup of noodles because I'm exhausted. And I get it. I completely get it. But I was going downhill. I was on 12 RX medications, and I was 80 pounds heavier than I am now, and basically bedridden and in pain and tired and depressed and full of anxiety and just miserable. And so I really had to make that conscious choice to switch my thinking to wellness and not sickness. And it's hard to do, especially when you have doctors. I mean, I was telling my doctors I want to go off these medications, and they were horrible coming off of, by the way. I want to come off these medications. So we started doing one at a time very slowly. It took over a year and a half to get off of these medications. She was not very supportive of me. She goes, you realize that you're gonna get worse and worse. You're not gonna get better, and you're torturing yourself. And to me, that was like the worst thing that a doctor could say to me. She made me lose hope. Completely made me lose hope of any like healing, and it was really, really hard. But I had to be under a doctor's care going off medications because I was on a lot of powerful medications that some of them were mind altering. Like I was on Paxil for 11 years, like the highest dose of Paxil, and it was horrible coming off of. It was probably the worst thing I've ever been through going off of Paxil, and I went off super, super slow. I had brain zaps, seizures, increased pain. It was just horrible. So, but I want you to know that, you know, at the end of it all, I feel way better being off the medications. They're actually designed to keep you on them. They are made to keep you on these medications. And I'm not saying that everybody needs to go off all their meds. Everybody is different. Everybody has a different level of chronic illness. They have different elements. Some people have mental issues along with, or mental, I don't want to say mental issues. That kind of sounds not very nice. Mental, I want to say it right. Mental, it's not even disabilities. It's mental, I'm having a brain fart. Mental illness. Mental illness. That's the proper way to say it. Okay. So, I'm not telling people to go off their meds. If you do choose to go off your meds, talk to your doctor first. And I highly recommend seeing a naturopathic doctor that can actually deal with the underlying cause of your condition instead of just covering up symptoms with meds. And they're very skilled at doing this. They do cost money. It's not covered by your insurance. It was worth it for me. I know some people don't have the money to do that. I totally sympathize with you. I am not rich. I had to give up a lot. I don't have cable TV. I have internet, and a cell phone, and I live in the middle of the desert because it's cheaper for me to live here and I can take care of my health. My rent's super, super cheap. I live around nobody. And I had to do what I had to do for my health. So, you know, you have to give up certain things sometimes to improve your health. And some of those things are luxuries that we're used to. I drive an old car. I drive an 89 Toyota Camry because I don't want, and I'm grateful for that car, by the way, I don't want a car payment because if I had a car payment, I wouldn't be able to invest in my health. I wouldn't be able to buy the foods that I want to buy. I wouldn't be able to go see my naturopathic doctor when I get sick. I wouldn't be able to do the things that I need to do for my health. So I've had to make a lot of sacrifices for my health. I had to give up all the foods I love. I literally gave up every single food that I loved. I love cheese. I can't eat dairy. Dairy causes inflammation in me. I did the elimination diet, and it caused tons of inflammation in me. I can't eat it. I can't touch it. Some people can't touch gluten. Some people can't eat meat. Some people, most people that have this condition cannot touch any processed foods. As soon as I eat a processed food, which is any food that does not grow from the ground or that does not come from nature and that has not been altered, if I eat a processed food, the next day I am in tons of pain. Completely in pain. So food does matter. Food is something that we'll talk probably a little more in detail in another blog post, because that is just like another whole thing. People have food allergies and that can cause chronic pain, and there's always an underlying cause. Let's see if I'm missing anything here. I'm kind of going off on a tangent. Oh, yes. Healthy self-talk. This is so important in self-love. And I wrote a blog post about this the other day. You could check that out on fibrotv.com as well. How you talk to yourself, your body listens to everything you say. If you say, I'm sick, I'm worthless, I can't heal my body, I'm going to be sick for the rest of my life, you are creating that in your life. That is something you are creating for the rest of your life. Your body listens. Every cell in your body listens to what you're saying. And you can believe this is not true, but it's actually being proven now with epigenetics and quantum physics. It's the new science. And you can't talk nasty to yourself. You can't say you're unlovable. You can't say that people don't like me. You are an amazing being. If you have a heartbeat and you're on this planet, you have a purpose in this world, and you are meant to be here, and you are meant to heal your body. You are meant to get as healthy as possible, if not heal your body. Your body is made to heal. If you cut yourself on your wrists, what happens within 2 weeks? Is that cut still there? No, it's not. You know why that cut heals? Is because you have the belief that it's going to heal. Now, if you had the belief, if you were born and somebody told you your entire life that if you cut yourself, it would never heal, it probably wouldn't heal. If you had no contact with society, our beliefs really do shape us. So I know this is like not mainstream stuff, and you guys have probably not heard of this kind of stuff before, and it might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm so passionate about helping people heal that I don't really give a crap what anybody thinks about me anymore. And I'm going to help as many people as I can. So, and I'm doing this all for free. I'm not making any money. I'm not selling any supplements. So I'm doing this from my heart, and I'm giving you this information from my heart. You can take it or leave it. If it doesn't resonate with you, it's fine. It's not your time yet. It's not your time. It doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong, or that I'm going to dislike you because you don't believe what I'm saying. I'm doing this because I have been called to tell you guys this kind of information, and to tell you about my healing journey, and to get people started on that process. And I'm going to do everything in my power to help as many people as I can here at Fibro TV. And I want to empower you guys. I want to empower you guys to, get on board with your health and stop focusing so much on sickness and illness. It is so important that you do that if you want to start healing. And, if you're not at that place where you're ready to heal, and you're just not feeling this yet, you're going to feel this when it's ready for you. If you're feeling resistance, it just might not be time for you. And I totally understand that, because if somebody would have told me this stuff not even 6 years ago, I would have laughed in their face. I would have been like, you are full of crap, blah, 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 blah. So I get it. I totally get it. I understand. Let's see. what else did I put on here? I said find a naturopathic doctor. Another really important thing that I do is I set my intentions early in the morning. I naturally wake up at 4 in the morning. I know that's crazy, but I, restart after getting off sleeping meds, Ambien, and all that other junk that I was on. I have restored my natural sleeping pattern, and I wake up about 4. And I'm up for about 2 hours, and then I go back to bed for another hour or so. And that's another thing I want to talk about before I talk about this, is it's natural to wake up at night. So if you're waking up in the middle of the night and your doctor says that that's not normal and puts you on a drug for that, not true. If you look up broken sleep patterns, that's the way we've slept for a very, very long time. We just incorporated this you need to sleep 8 hours a day thing recently. We used to sleep until like 2 or 3 in the morning, wake up for a couple of hours, eat, and go back to bed for a couple hours. And that's the way it's always been. So if you naturally wake up in the middle of the night, you're doing the right thing. It's really not that big of a deal. Stay up, watch some TV, do whatever you want to do. Read a book, do a little cleaning. I sometimes get up and clean for a couple hours. I go back to bed. I go back to bed for an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's totally normal. But first thing in the morning, sorry, I got off track. That's why I need to have this. First thing in the morning, always set your intention that you're going to do the best thing you can do for your body. You're going to do whatever you can to be as healthy as possible and take care of this beautiful, beautiful vessel that is just a shell for your beautiful soul. You need to love your body. Start loving your body again. Don't treat it like it's rejected you or that, it's defeating you. You've got to just start loving your body. If you look in the mirror and say, I love you, I love you. Look in your eyes and say, I love you in the morning. Say, I love you. And thank your body. Thank your body every morning for keeping you here on this earth. Because without this vessel, you wouldn't be here. Without this vessel, this beautiful, beautiful vessel, you would not be here any longer. So you got to take care of it. You only get one. You only get one, and if you don't take care of it, you're out. You're out. And I don't want you guys to be out any sooner than you need to be out of here. So I really do. Every morning I set my intentions. I usually meditate for about 20 minutes. I set my intentions. What I'm going to do, usually I say I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to make a smoothie. I do something first thing in the morning for me, for myself. And it's really easy to do that, like if you have kids too, and you have a family, is if you can get up a little bit earlier than them, the morning time is like the perfect time to have that really quiet time and personal time with yourself. So if you can get up a little early, that's great. Excuse me, I need a drink of water. Pardon me. Oh, this is another thing is, being on disability it's very limiting your funds, and do what you can with what you have. So if you don't have the money to see a naturopathic doctor, get on the internet and hook up with as many naturopathic doctors as you can on Facebook, wherever. Get on the internet and follow blogs of people that are naturopathic doctors that treat the condition that you're dealing with. There's always something you can do. If you don't have the money to buy really healthy foods, go get food stamps. If you can get food stamps and you qualify, don't be a prideful person and not get food stamps. If you need them and you need them to get better, go get them. I was on food stamps for probably 4 years, and I was on them because I couldn't afford the food that I needed to heal my body. I have no shame over that. I'm not on them anymore because, I've improved my health and I have more sources of income because I have improved my health, but never be ashamed to do that. What's another thing? Oh, and another thing you could do with food is if you do have local food banks, I know a lot of them have crap food, but pardon my language, but there are other places that they do have vegetables. You can call around, just call around in your town and say, hey, do you ever carry vegetables? You don't have to take the junk food. You can say, can I just take the vegetables and the healthy food? And I had to do that for a while as well. So you do what you can with what you have. What else? This is the big one, and this is the one that a lot of people get really defensive about when I talk about, and that's okay because I think it's because of this, there's like a persona that people with chronic illness like fibromyalgia and CFIDs and a couple of other medical conditions that they're in your head, and this has nothing to do with it being in your head. You really need to work with a professional if you have any emotional blocks. And what I mean by emotional blocks is any unresolved issues or suppressed feelings that you have. Now, this can come from trauma, abuse. It can be physical abuse, mental abuse, sexual abuse. It can be caused from if you were in a war, if you were in the military and you were exposed to a lot of trauma and you're in a high stress situation for a long time. You can develop things like post-traumatic stress disorder and things like that. And if you don't deal with them and you just suppress those emotions with either medications, alcohol, TV, food, any of those things, those are blocks for your healing. They will block you from healing. The mind and body are very, very connected, and if you have any unresolved issues, it will affect you physically. And it's very obvious. We find this happening to us when we get stressed out and we're sick. We know when we get stressed and we're stressed out, we get sicker. We get sick. We have more pain. And so our emotions are very, very much connected to our body. And if we don't deal with our emotions and we don't know how to express ourselves, or we don't get out these suppressed emotions and deal with these suppressed emotions with a professional, it can cause a lot of problems and it will block your process of healing. I think that's about it. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Like I said, I know this is not mainstream stuff and it's not what you're used to hearing because doctors in this region are not trained to take care of the underlying condition of any illness. They are taught to prescribe, and I think they get something like 20 hours of nutrition in medical school. It's ridiculous. So they don't even know how to give you nutritional advice, really. So I want to thank you once again. Please check out my website, fibrotv.com. Also, you can follow us on Twitter. It's twitter.com/fibrotv. And you can follow us on YouTube and subscribe. Obviously, you're watching this on YouTube, I think, unless I put it on Facebook. Our YouTube is youtube.com/fibrotv. Make sure to subscribe, like this, share it. Everybody have an awesome day, and till next time, bye.